Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations, a weekly podcast from Practical E-Commerce, hosted by entrepreneur Eric Bandholz.
What is going on, Internet? Eric Bandholz back again with another E-Commerce Conversations. I hope all is going well on the other side of the Internet. On the other side of the table from me, Athena.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here, Eric. It's such an honor.
Bring in the energy. We're here at Steve Chu's Sellers Summit.
That's
here
right.
in Fort Lauderdale, Miami. We're on site and location.
For sure. He just released his book, Family First, which is an awesome concept. Haven't read it yet, but it looks amazing.
Yeah. He's been on this podcast a couple times in the past, and we'll have to bring him back on talking about the book. But we're talking about you. What do you do?
So, my goodness, I started my journey about 8 or 9 years ago, and I started with my own brand on Amazon. And it's funny, I'm just like really into community. That's what I've always done since I could talk, to be fair. I mean, I was dating a bassist, so I had to make concerts around that just so I could say he was a rock star. You know, any sort of thing I'd ever been involved with, I became a mother, so I built a whole like mommy following. And so when I got into Amazon, it was interesting because I was able to quit my job within about 4 months, and a lot of people noticed. And so they were, interested. So I started putting on like dinners and events and seminars, and then it turned into a cruise, and then it turned into a trip to China. And now I even have the largest mastermind in the world for Amazon sellers called Titan Network. So it's been a really fun, adventurous, crazy journey we call entrepreneurship. And it's just fun to be here and talk about it today.
Yeah. Do people still make money on Amazon?
I do. I own 11 brands. So
you do, yeah.
I do. Yeah.
So let's talk about this mastermind. Like, what specifically is the mastermind doing? Is it online? You mentioned there are in-person events. Like, how is it structured, and how do people get value out of the mastermind?
For sure. So the concept of mastermind's been around for a long time. So if you think back, like, a group of scientists or artists or just people that are in a similar field, if they all bring their collective brain power on a subject together, the power of that is just so much stronger than any one human being, right? And so Titan, what we've done is we've brought together some really powerful industry leaders. I mean, these guys are in the trenches, sellers themselves, multi-8, if not even 9-figure sellers within our crew. We've got experts in sourcing, branding, outside traffic, like you name it. And the reason we call it Titan is because we did just that. We brought through the titans of the industry. And one of the things that we learned is that where you're at in your journey in e-com makes a big difference in terms of your focus, right? So in the past, we used to have these events where everyone was just in a room and we'd try to kind of like talk to all of them. But some guy who's just finding their first product is going to be very different than a guy who's doing $1 million a month in sales, right? Where their mindset's at, their pain points, their strengths, what they really should be focusing on. So one of the key things that we do in Titan is we actually separate people by where they're at in their journey and really focus on that aspect of it. And then we also have like incredible things we call work parties where we get to like jam with like somebody who's an expert in that particular topic. So it's all topic based. And then we have like meetups all over the world. We're in Miami right now, and we just saw our Miami crew, which was a lot of fun. And we do events. It's just kind of been this thing that was created by sellers for sellers, and it's turned into just this sort of magic world.
Yeah. So do you have like online forums? Is it like through Facebook group, or like how are people connecting?
So it's its own app, right?
Okay.
And it's all organized. We've got like the training in there. We've got our own software in there. It's all like just based on a specific strategy that everyone just kind of brain dumped into. And so we're doing like some crazy stuff with AI, for example. And so we've got all of our guys like testing things and kind of just putting it into one space and making it really effective.
Okay. So they get the Titan app. They come on there. Is it more like working through courses and the challenges they have through these like pre-recorded resources, or are they also able to build relationships with other creators? And because you said it's the largest, how many people are?
So it's a formal mastermind. We have over 1,000 members, which is about double yeah, the size of the next one.
Yeah, so you have 1,000 members. It's like, there's no way I'm going to be able to build a relationship with all 1,000 people.
No,
like, how do I go
not.
through there and find the right people to connect
Yeah.
with?
So here's how we do it. We onboard you, and then we do a one-on-one strategy call, right? And so you get assigned to a Titan mentor, right? And this is going to be someone who's a few steps ahead of you in the game, and they're going to go through your business and actually just see like, okay, great. So you're doing all this right. You really want to grow. I mean, everyone's different. Your ambition level is going to be different than the next guy. Like, are you looking to exit? Are you looking to cash flow? Like, what is the thing that you're trying to achieve? And then based on that, they're going to find your strengths, your weaknesses, and then you're going to be assigned to a small group of like-minded guys who are at a similar place in their journey, right? I'll give you an example. My group 3, these guys are going from 50 to 170,000 a month in sales. This is scale time, right? They're learning about building teams. They're learning about, driving traffic. They're learning advanced PPC methods. They're learning a lot of things that are just pertaining to that aspect of like what they're doing. And so you're going to be in a group of about 30 guys. You meet weekly. It's all mastermind style. And then we do have the live stuff as well. We have an accountability program. We even do mindset. We do yoga. Like, we do all kinds of things because everyone's different. What they need is different. And we're just really tailoring each person's program to what they're looking to do.
Yeah. You said it was a small group. Is this like 5 people, 12 people?
So
like, how small is
in
small?
the mastermind, it's about 30 people. And then
Okay.
in the accountability group, you're literally in a pod of 4.
Okay.
And so, yeah, this whole thing's been developed. Like, the guy who leads our accountability program, he's been an Air Force officer for over 20 years, so knows a thing or two about accountability. And so he's the guy that like runs our accountability program. So this is like this whole thing that really, like, when someone asks me like, what is Titan, it's really hard to just answer quickly because it is sort of a whole program that we built step by step, just because we know that every entrepreneur is completely different.
Yeah. So I've run into these issues before where like a mastermind's no good if people don't show up.
Right.
And of course in business things come up, and making sure that the mastermind is a priority. I assume you have like checks and balances in place to make sure that if someone no-shows for so many, weekly calls, that maybe their chances of joining future events are minimized, or not events or future calls and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've even built in success coaches. So if like you're not coming, they actually check on you, and they'll send you an email or a text. And if we don't hear from you, we'll call you and just make sure you're okay. Like, we genuinely care about our people. And so I think that's why we have so many people that do show up, is because, it's no man left behind. We want to make sure everyone's doing good.
Yeah. You mentioned it is Amazon focused, right? I would assume like if you're talking numbers of $20 million, $100 million, these got to be beyond Amazon and kind of multi-channel, right?
Yeah. So I think for a lot of people, they ask me, like, when should I diversify? Like, what do you think about, different channels and things? And I think it's just good to focus on one thing and then get that to a good place and then get to the next one, unless you have a team under you. But I've seen like solopreneurs try to do all of the things all at once, and it's just a lot. And so for us, it's like we kind of help you really get yourself established on one platform. And then we do have access to other platforms and things like Walmart, Shopify, all kinds of things. But like, it's all kind of done in the right timing.
Yeah. So I would imagine, most of the masterminds are kind of like the smaller. Like, I can't imagine you got too many $100 million.
No, we don't have a ton of 9-figure sellers. I wish we did, but we don't. No.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of revenue, and most of our audience is probably like 6 and 7 figure creators.
That's same with us for sure, 100%.
You mentioned also that you put on these like in-person events. Like, what does that look like? And it seems like, we're here at Seller Summit. So this is how I would describe like a typical conference. You have talks and roundtables and, networking. But yours seem like giant parties. You're talking about like getting snakes on stage.
Yeah.
Well, walk me through like how you're bringing people together and how those type of events facilitate maybe a different type of energy or outcome than maybe something like Sellers.
Yeah. Okay. So my background really is events. Like, I come from like a Hollywood background. So like when I put things on, it's like a whole other universe, right? So like the way that we do this is we go to a destination usually, and we like to incorporate the place that we're in. I've been to so many conferences where like I went to Israel and I could see like the Mediterranean, but like I never went there, you know what I mean? Because I'm just in the conference the whole day. So part of what we do is we pick like a beautiful location and we do the networking in the pool and at the beach and stuff like that. So, and we also know that the deeper the relationship you have with each other, that's where that trust comes in. And I think that's a really core value in Titan is being open and being real with what's going on in your business. A lot of people just hold everything close to their chest, but we've built a world where people just like really trust each other and, they're having a few drinks and they're having fun and they're like, actually enjoying the environment. And that does build that relationship, which in the future really does help with the business. Because if you're in trouble or you need a resource, like people are going to come and help you because you're genuinely building a relationship that you wouldn't be able to build in like a conference that just lasts 3 days, right? So our events are usually longer. They're usually around 5 days. Our trip to China is 12, by the way. And that's really where we kind of learned a lot is the fact that we were in China for a trip called China Magic. And we were able to see just the relationships that people would build. So our conferences go like this. We workshop, right? So like, let's say we're talking about AI, for example. We'll have like a 3 or 4 hour AI workshop. So by the end of it, like you've actually implemented this stuff and you're actually able to talk to the guys that are doing it with you so that by the end, like you have results. So we do the same thing like with PPC or conversion, and we'll have people come over and actually like, look, we'll do stuff with products. Like we'll actually bring the products to the table and we'll have people separate by avatar and like give feedback. Like we'll take someone's thing apart, like right there. Like it's very hands-on because if you think about it, the purpose of Titan is that you guys grow from where you're at to that next level. And it's just so important to us that when we do our events, we're not just giving you this surface level talk. We're like going deep into helping you with whatever it is, and you walk away with your business in a better place. And that's something that we've kind of like, it's really come from trial and error, and it's come from doing this for like 9 years.
Yeah. How many attendees are coming to the events?
For example, Cancun's about 200. We have events as small as 30 people, 50 people. Our larger events are a little bit larger, but we have to manage it. And sometimes it's just based on level. Like we'll have a group for newer people and then we'll have one that's like for advanced guys. Again, because the conversation is different and what people need is just so different.
Events are a ton of work. Like,
yeah.
How it sounds like you're putting on a lot of events and it's a ton of work. Like, how do you get that done? Like, how do you pull it all together? So how many events are you doing a year, I guess? And then
we don't do we have these meetups that are monthly and they're all over the world. So that's easy because that's just a meetup. And then we do like our signature events. We probably have about 4 or 5 a year. And I have an events team and it's just my passion. Like watching people's eyes light up and see how much they like connect with each other and what we create is really like my calling. And I'm just grateful to be in my element because it really is what I was meant to do on this earth.
Yeah, I just recorded a podcast, last week's podcast. We did like our own kind of friend retreat of like-minded people to Zion National Park for
fun.
3 nights. And I really think, like being able to kind of like get away from the daily grind and what we're doing every day and then be around like-minded people to either like air through things that you're working through on both your personal life or your professional life. And know that the advice that's coming back are from people who you value their advice. Because in my opinion, there's nothing worse than getting advice from someone you don't respect or, like
for sure
see the world the same way.
True. And then here's another one, like people give out advice that haven't actually accomplished what it is that you're looking to accomplish. There's so many fake gurus out there that are like just throwing all kinds of data, and like someone like yourself who's built such a amazing brand, like when someone's full of it and when they're not, right? And I think that it's just important that when we have somebody giving advice, it's because it's from experience, it's not just from opinion.
Yeah, how do you go about and vet your attendees and members of your mastermind?
So we just do a personal interview with every single person before they join Titan. We just want to make sure that they've got like an abundance mindset and that they're ambitious and awesome. Basically, we have a no a-hole policy in Titan. And our leadership just really comes from within, and we really are very close and we get to know each other, and they're very successful people, very ambitious. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter if someone's just successful and ambitious, they have to be willing and open to help people, right? Like a lot of these guys have already had 8-figure exits, but they have hearts of gold and they enjoy like helping other entrepreneurs to achieve success. And then I do crazy things. Like I brought my team to Thailand, and that was a ball. And then we rented this whole thing in Tulum, this like side-by-side villa thing. And we went skydiving and snorkeling and like, we're fun. We're crazy. And we're very, tight-knit. And we have this purpose of like helping others. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, you talked about the no asshole policy. Give me some of that.
I didn't know if you said that word on this one or not.
Well,
Yeah.
Give me some examples of what has happened and where you did have some assholes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it hasn't happened too often, but we have had a couple bad apples here and there. And it's just like, the thing is, if you're not open and willing to help each other, if you're not willing to like be a good guy and you're just there to take, then that's really not what our culture is about. We're not about ego. You know what I mean? Everyone in the room, whether you're successful or not, is valuable. So I'm not into like people snobbing people. Like, I have had someone who's brand new to Amazon who had a 25-year background working in branding in London with some of the top brands in the world. This guy is so valuable and so amazing. And so like, I just think that everyone brings something to the table. And so it's just important to me that we keep our culture like really special. And if someone's going to be like a downer and trying to bring other people down, then I just let them exit stage right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever have issues with people having concerns with their competitors being in the space, or, like being transparent because of that?
Yeah. So here's how we've approached this. And the first time this happened was actually in China, when we found out that 2 of our guys were pretty much selling similar products, right? And I took them in a room and I said, look, guys, you have 2 options. You can either have friction or you can really collaborate, right? And I suggest you collaborate. So they actually went to their suppliers, leveraged the size of their orders together, combined containers, and became like the best of friends. And so I'm not saying that's going to happen all the time, but I think a healthy competition is a good thing.
Yeah, the old collusion.
Yeah, exactly. I think healthy competition is a good thing, because if you look at Amazon and you look at how many spots you've got on the first and second page, it's like there's plenty of room for everyone. And if you've got brands that are bringing it and they're, high quality and they're keeping their pricing at the right place, wouldn't you want to compete with someone like that versus, these cutthroat sort of guys that are representing factories and like have no soul? Like, I think it's way better to like be involved with other brand creators. And that's really our vibe within Titan, is more of an abundance mindset.
Yeah, I think that is something I agree with. One of the frequent guests of this podcast is Patrick. He sells shaving stuff.
Yeah.
We sell beard stuff, and we share a lot of tips as well. There are like 2 kind of competitors, those in the space who you respect and they kind of do things their own way with respect. And then there are those who take heavy inspiration from the stuff you're doing.
Heavy inspiration is a really nice way to say it. Yeah.
Which, can be a little more frustrating because it feels like a lot of your value from, or for me, like my value is a lot of creativity and doing things differently. And
Totally.
then, trying to trailblaze and create a new path, and then to see someone try to take advantage of your hard work is frustrating when, they potentially take your credit. But
right.
At the end of the day, you don't own any customers, right? Like, the customer is free to buy from you or not buy from you. So it's your responsibility to create a business where they want to come back, and a product where they want to come back and
100%.
Tell their friends.
I think that's just something that for me as an entrepreneur, I've had to learn the hard way is, they say like mimicry is the best form of flattery or whatever. And before, like years ago, I would get so pissed off. Like, I'd be like, really? Yeah, right. Like, step in your own lane, dude. But I think there is something to continuously trailblaze, as you said. I think there's something to continuously be developing yourself and being unique and having a value proposition. And I think that right now that really ties into e-com in general, is like the days of just the Me Too are so over. And you have to have something unique about what you do, about the products, about who you serve, and really understanding who that audience is. And I think that if you do a good job of that, like, you're untouchable, because you are you are unique, and no one else is going to be you. So I think that's smart.
So in addition to the mastermind and creating the events, you also have built a number of brands on Amazon as well.
100%.
Those are done mostly through acquisition or building from the ground up?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it both ways. And I mean, one of the things that I've kind of learned through my journey, because again, I started out as a seller myself, and then I started developing these events, and then like I started having a team, and it's like I've kind of grown into a different position. And I think that as you mature as an entrepreneur, you start to bring through like team members that can take on different things. And so I'm not pushing the buttons anymore within the Amazon brands, but I am partner in about 11 of them right now. And it's just really important that we have our finger on the pulse. I mean, think about it. We have skin in the game. Like, we've got so much invested in making sure that we understand the Amazon game. So my team is like amazing, and they all feed back into my mastermind. And so it's like this really cool relationship where we have to like know what we're doing. So I think it's really important as an entrepreneur to like really understand your strengths and weaknesses. And that's something that I've kind of had to learn the hard way. Like if you're a creative, if you're a visionary, like understand that that is your strength and make sure that you're surrounded by the right kind of team members to really integrate your vision. If you're more of an integrator type and you're not so creative, like you need to surround yourself with like your counterpart. Like there's just so much you learn. And for me, like what I do with these events in the mastermind, that's my strength. My business partner, Dan Ashburn, is wicked smart at like the actual strategy and the technology and all that side. So that's really him.
How did you find Dan?
At an event. That's why I'm a big believer in events and networking and connection, because like I met him at a random event and he came as a speaker to my trip to China, and then realized he was like the other half of my brain that I don't have, and together we were able to create this world we call Titan. And I don't think either one of us would have been able to do it.
What was he doing at the time?
He had an agency and he was running, brands himself. And then he was also speaking, a lot because he's just very good at what he does. I mean, he started like building websites at 12. Like he's just some weird anomaly.
Did he sell that or shut that down, or?
We still have it. I mean,
Okay.
That's kind of we kind of rolled the whole thing together. And yeah, he's amazing. Like we've got, Keegan Golzari, Chris Rawlings. Like these are some guys you might want to connect with on your podcast because they're just really, really smart, amazing people.
How were you able to like work out? Like, I guess this is a two-part question. Did you already have the mastermind at the time and you were
No.
looking for help? So you had an idea.
Right. Well, actually, I just had the trip to China called China Magic.
Okay.
That's all I had. And then the mastermind came out of China because we spent 12 days together, like masterminding basically. And then people just got so much done and they were so into it. They just wanted more. And that's really why we built Titan.
So you did this mastermind and out of it became Titan.
Yeah. It became more of a formal thing because the 12-day trip just wasn't enough. Like people loved it so much and they were like, okay, well, what's next?
Yeah,
and I
let's
was
do
like,
more.
So yeah, that's how it all happened.
How are you able to recruit and grow the audience? I mean, 1,000 members seems like a lot of e-commerce or Amazon sellers.
Yeah.
Is there a funnel to that? Is there an acquisition strategy or?
A lot of it's word of mouth, to be fair. I do events and things and I speak on stage and, on a podcast here and there. But like, I think when you have a good product, like it speaks for itself and they bring their friends to us because like they just love what we do. So I think a lot of it's just word of mouth.
Yeah. I kind of want to go back to your acquisition of brands. Like, what is the perfect kind of brand for you guys to bring on board? Obviously, Amazon is one of those.
Yeah. So we're looking for IP. We're looking for unique brands that really speak to their audience. We do not look for cookie cutters. We're looking for people that like have built something that's special, unique. The products are, doing really well because it's just something different. There's a whole aggregator world that happened, I guess last year, and they were just buying anything and everything. And we don't do that. We just want to have brands that are special that speak to their audience.
So you're looking for unique designs, unique products.
Yeah, proprietary.
Are trademarks one of those requirements, or
it's not a requirement, but it's great.
or patents?
Yeah, it just and also we're interested in the brand owner and their story a lot of times. And like we have one brand that is all for like special needs children. It's actually like some really special things for that category, and the woman who started it like just has the most beautiful brand story, and like we really believe in that brand. We've got like this really cool sort of outdoor brand that's also got some really cool products and stuff. And so, yeah, we just want to look for something that we can grow. And I think right now it really is that the days of the Me Too garlic press are just over, it just doesn't work.
Are there any kind of like revenue thresholds that you're trying to have, or, like proof of feasibility, or?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. We have some brands that are doing about, just 7 figures, and we've got some that we've acquired that are stronger. And so it just depends. And like, we're really interested in brands that have a lot of growth potential. You know what I mean? So I think that's a lot of it. But one of the things that we talk a lot about in Titan is how to bring more enterprise value to your business. And so like what we're doing and what we're acquiring is kind of like our own thing. There's so much opportunity out there for people to build a brand and be able to exit it for like significant amount of money, and really understanding the points to hit with your brand is so important. Like even if you're brand new starting out, like I just think it's important for you to understand what that end goal looks like and then kind of build in that direction.
Yeah, if someone's building an Amazon brand or business primarily on Amazon, and you talked about like a nice exit, like what do you think is a realistic expectation for exiting on Amazon if you want to move your product? Like, is it 3 times earnings or?
It's about, I mean, it just depends. That's the thing. Like it could be 4 to 5. It just, there was a lot of, like it's kind of inflated like a year or 2 ago. Like people were seeing some crazy multiples. It's chilled out a lot. Some people are just seeing like a 2 or 3. But if you do things right and you understand what you're doing, then you can see a much better exit. And I think, again, that's super important. Like you need to understand your journey, like what makes you tick, what makes you happy. And I think that's actually something that really fascinates me because I've now worked with, thousands of entrepreneurs. Like what's going to make you happy, Eric, and like the life you want to lead is going to be different than the next guy, right? And I think it's really important for us as entrepreneurs to understand, like, I would be happy if I have a $5 million exit or a $1 million exit, or I'm happy just to cash flow. I have a guy, one of my Titans, who has a surf brand, right? And he's like, I prefer to lose my left leg than lose my brand because his surf brand is him. Like it is one and the same, right? Yeah. And so, but not everyone feels like, wait, some people are building like a kitchen brand with the purpose to exit it. And I think that people who just, sell without having that goal in mind, like that's fine, to each their own. But I think it's just so helpful to kind of know like where you're going with it.
Yeah. Do you shy away from brands that are like omni-channel, like half on Shopify?
Not at all. We love omni-channel, and I think it diversifies, and that's something that you can do to add a lot of value to your brand as well. And we do have, a lot within the Titan network on Shopify, Walmart, many different, retail, even everything. We just happen to be Amazon kind of like centric, but we definitely have a lot of other things too. And that's how you own your customer. I know you're a big fan of omni-channel, or maybe not as much.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Amazon.
Okay, I don't know if you said that out loud or not, but yeah.
But I'm despite my disdain for the platform, we're on it, so it's kind of the beast that you have to.
It's just a big creature, man. Like it's growing still, and it's good.
Do you have any Amazon tips? I mean, that's a very broad question, but like we're in 2023. I would imagine, a lot's changed on the platform over the years in terms of like how you can generate reviews and, like what are the best strategies for entering? Obviously, people want to think there's still opportunity and room to grow on Amazon.
Absolutely.
That it's not entirely saturated, but like, how would you go about finding success?
We definitely go avatar first, which isn't how everyone thinks with it.
Like customer first?
Yeah, we think customer first. So like, who are we talking to, right? Like you want to do a pet brand? Is this like a high-end couple that like really invests in their babies? You know what I mean? Or is this just like some dude? Like every sort of category has different audiences that you can speak to. And I think one of the main things that we're doing, and we actually have a course on it called Genesis, right? Which we thought was kind of cool, like the beginning, the start of something. And so what we talk about is like really understanding who you're serving, because from there you can figure out like what are the products that same avatar is going to be interested in. And we've been leveraging a lot of AI stuff to do the research for us. And what we can do in 5 minutes with AI is insanity. Like it used to cost thousands and take months to be able to put together what you can do in like literally a few minutes, just leveraging, Chat GPT or some other platforms and stuff. And so we've actually been using it for avatar research. And so we could literally create a brand from scratch within, like, that's what one of our workshops was all about, like from start to finish, full thing, what products you want, even putting it together to get suppliers, like the entire thing in just, a few hours.
Like, talk to me more about how you're doing this through AI.
Sure.
Like, where are you going? Is this within your app, or is this, just
So
using
we have a special list of prompts that we've been kind of putting together because of the collective contribution of our network. Like we've got just some really smart people that have been doing some crazy stuff. So we have sort of this underground AI sort of team that's been putting together just like some different prompts. And when you just put these things in, then you can literally
put it into Chat
GPT.
Okay.
And then
Bard.
Yeah. And we also, oh my gosh, what is the other one that does all the visual stuff?
Midjourney?
Yeah. So we've got stuff with Midjourney, and between the two, like.
So you'll like use Midjourney to like design a product, be like,
dude, you should see some of the cool stuff that has been happening lately. Like,
do you have any photos?
I can show you in a
You show-
second.
yeah.
Yeah. But like some of this pet brand stuff that we've got going on right now, because that was just like a test that we did in the room, and some of the products that we've come up with. And then we actually went out and did like a whole bunch of market research.
Yeah.
And it's so hot because it's coming from a place of intelligence, because AI, it's like, it's a whole other world.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like we're going into a whole new era. Like everyone's like, the gold rush of Amazon's over. I'm like, oh, hell no. Like we're just getting started. Like you can leverage this stuff. You can literally put together what you want from your supplier, and the whole thing start to finish. You can literally do it in a few hours or week. I mean, this used to take us months and
Yeah.
months and months to develop.
Because you could even like MVP test it with like ads because you have legit like photographs.
Yeah. Oh, this is what we do. We have an entire strategy. We don't launch products without doing prior research. Like everything that we do in Titan is so thought out, because, you know, the days of like investing in these products and like putting them up there and then them failing, we're way past those days, right? So like we do a lot of things to like pre-test and all of it. And so we really know what we're doing before we even place that order.
How do you know, like, what are some of these pre-tests, and how do you know if a product's worthy of launching?
That, my friend,
The secret you got to
is
join.
within Titan Network.
Oh, shoot.
I'll tell you outside of here though.
Well, where do people get into the Titan Network? How do they find you?
So if they go to titannetwork.com, they book a call with myself or my team. Like I still jump on the calls myself a lot of times because I want to get to know people. So, I mean, it's a great discovery call. We get to know you. We get to find out like what your goals are, like if this is a good match or not. And if it's not, then that's totally cool. Like we're looking for people like, you know, who want to be open, who want to build, who are, you know, fun, and that's what we're all about.
Cool. Where can people follow you? Are you on Twitter or?
I'm
LinkedIn?
more of like an Instagram, Facebook kind of girl.
Okay.
So Athena Severi is my name, and you can totally find me.
How do you spell that? No one's
Severi.
Okay.
Athena, like the goddess. Just kidding. Not kidding. Okay.
Well, it is, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Greek goddess of wisdom, art, and warfare. So yeah, and I answer my own DMs, and I'm very present within my network. We were just with my Miami chapter last night, and I just sat in the room with them, and I wanted to hear from them, like, what's going on with you? What are the challenges? What are you running into? And some of the projects these guys, I mean, this guy is about to launch like a whole set of different like coffee flavors that is made with monk fruit, and there's nothing on the market like it. So I'm like so proud. Like there's all these amazing, innovative things that are coming out of my guys, and I'm just like super in awe of all of them and just so proud. And I'm really proud of my team, and I'm really proud of like everyone involved, because we're changing lives. Like we're really impacting people. And for me, that's been just the biggest like honor ever.
Yeah. Anywhere else people can get a hold of you?
I
That's
mean,
it?
titannetwork.com is for our mastermind. If you want to come to China with us, you can go to ChinaMagicTrip.com. And if you're just starting out, that would be GenesisBootcamp.com. But Titan Network, like honestly, if you go to titannetwork.com and you book a call and you put in the note there, you want to talk to me, I'm here for you.
Sweet. Well, thank you for swinging by. This has been another e-commerce conversations. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I
Dude,
did.
the fact that you have Eric in your life, you're so lucky. He brings so much value to this world. Like, he's just amazing. So it was really an honor to be here and to jam with you for this
you know,
time.
I'll take fluffing and
It's the truth,
fluffery
though.
and
No,
all
it's
that.
the truth. You are amazing. So thank you. Thanks
Cool.
again.
Cheers. Keep on growing.